Hello guys, welcome to Random AF. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. 2024 was filled with some amazing state-of-the-art movies out there, but along with best comes the worst. And these are the list of the top 10 worst movies of 2024. But before going forward, this is just my list. Please comment what do you think of the list and please give your top 10 worst movies of 2024. Then let's get started. Number 10, Tarot. Tarot is another horror movie that failed to stand out. The story is based on a cursed tarot deck, had potential but fell into predictable horror cliches. Critics noted that the film relied too much on cheap jump scares instead of building a real tension or atmosphere. The characters were one dimensional and the dialogue felt weak, making it hard for the audience to care about their fate. Fans of horror movies were especially frustrated because Tarot didn't offer anything new or scary. Instead, it felt generic. Forgettable film with little creativity. Overall, Tarot film was another example of horror movie that relied on tried ideas and failed to deliver real thrill. Number 9, The Platform 2. As a fan of the original platform, The Platform 2, a sequel of 2019 hit, failed to recapture its original impact. The first movie stood for its clever social commentary and suspenseful storytelling, but its sequel felt like a weak copy. Critics said it relied on too much of shocking visuals and disturbing moments without adding anything new or meaningful to the story. The characters were underdeveloped and the plot felt repetitive, lacking the tension and creativity of the first film. Fans enjoyed the original were left disappointed by the lack of innovation and depth. The Platform 2 ultimately felt unnecessary and it didn't bring anything fresh or memorable to the series. Number 8, Rebel Moon Part 2. Rebel Moon Part 2 had impressive visuals and action, but its story felt thin and lacking in excitement. The character didn't get much development, which made it hard to care about what happened to them. The movie tried to deliver on big sci-fi adventure, but didn't offer anything new to the genre. The slow pacing made some scenes feel stretched out, taking away from the excitement of the action. While the movie looked visually great, but it didn't create an emotional connection to the strong storyline. In the end, Rebel Moon Part 2 felt more like a collection of cool visuals than a complete satisfying story. Number 7, Megalopolis. Megalopolis created an ambitious project with big ideas and impressive visuals, but it ended up being hard to follow. The movie story felt confusing and the character didn't feel well developed. While the film aimed to explore deep themes, it struggled to keep clear focus, which made it difficult for viewers to connect with the story. Many moments in the movie felt stretched out, which made it feel longer and than necessary. Even though it looked visually interesting, it didn't provide the emotional or engaging experience that people expected. Instead of being a powerful and memorable movie, Megalopolis felt unclear and overwhelming to me. Mean Girls 2024. The new version of Mean Girls to bring back the original movie's charm by turning it into a musical. However, the songs didn't add much to the story and often disrupted its flow. The humor also didn't work as well as it did in the original movie, making it feel less funny and sharp. Some of the iconic scenes didn't have the same impact and the character felt less memorable. Fans of the original movie didn't see anything fresh or exciting in this version. Instead, it felt like an unnecessary remake that didn't improve its original story. Number 5, Argylle. Argylle was meant to mix action, mystery and humor, but the story became too complicated. There were too many twists that made it hard to follow and the character didn't feel relatable. The movie had stylish visuals and big moments, but it lacked clear focus. Instead of feeling fun and exciting, it often felt messy and hard to enjoy. While the idea of unique spy story was interesting, the way it was presented didn't work well. In the end, Argylle didn't connect with audience who were hoping for a more entertaining and easier to go follow movie. Number 4, The Crow 2024. The new version of The Crow tried to remake the classic 1994 movie but didn't bring anything special to the story. The emotional themes of love, loss, and revenge weren't explored deeply, which made the movie felt empty. The focus was more on flashy visuals and action instead of creating a meaningful connection with the audience. Without the unique atmosphere of the original film, this remake didn't feel the same impact. Fans of the original saw it as an unnecessary and the new version lacked emotional power that made the story memorable in the first place. Number 3 on the list is Borderlands. Borderlands, based on a popular video game, struggled to capture the fun and chaos that fans loved about the original. The joke often felt forced and the characters didn't have the same charm they had in the game. Even though the game's actors, their performance didn't bring the character to life in a memorable way. The story also didn't follow the game closely, which disappointed the fans. On top of that, the action scenes and visuals didn't stand out, which made the movie feel dull at times. Instead of being fun adventure, Borderland ended up being a flat failure. Even though Borderland had one of the best cast out there, the performance felt flat. Character's performance didn't match the vibe of the video game character. In the end, Borderlands was not a great movie in 2024. Number 2 on the list is Madam Web, starring Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Johnson, Tahar Rahim as the lead in the cast. Madam Web was a complete mess from the beginning. Sony's Spider-Man universe was on the verge of end, and this movie is a clear reason why. The Sony Spider-Man universe without an Spider-Man, this movie, Madam Web, in it lacked the story which it required. Character performance were lackluster at best. Heck, even the actors starring in the movie didn't know anything about the Spider-Man movie, which came 6 months before it. Some of the stars signed into the movie thinking it was an MCU project. The movie was doomed to fail. With lackluster humor, acting, comedy, and not so well choreographed action pieces, the movie is a failure for me. But you might be wondering which is the number 1 movie on the list. Is Joker Folie? Now the question is Joker Part 2 really bad than Madam Web? No, it's clearly not. For me, Joker Folie as a standalone movie stands as a strong movie. But in the end, it was a sequel to the original Joker movie, which was originally intended to be only a standalone movie. But after the success of the original movie, the film producers thought, why don't we make a sequel of it to earn more money? The result which we get is Joker Folie. Musicals in this movie didn't feel affiliated to the movie. It felt like a filler element in the movie which didn't add much to the movie. And the story seemed quite weird and confusing and contradicting the original Joker 1 movie. For my personal opinion, you can click on I button for my review of Joker Part 1 movie. But overall, Joker 1 was still a great movie, but Joker Folie didn't match its charm. And this is the list. This is my top 10 worst movies of 2024. Please comment down your top 10 worst movies of 2024 and if you agree with my list or not. And for now, this is a Random AF signing off.